Jack here, JBF Music and Guitar Lessons. In this quick guitar tricks we're looking at playing all over the neck and how to break out the standard minor pentatonic box, although let's face it, it is the best scale shape. First up, a quick look at the pentatonic shapes I'll be using. Now this isn't really a lesson on them, but if you want a refresher, pause the video or slow down with the cog in the corner. Take a minute to get to grips with it if needed. I'm just going to go up one scale and then down the next and so on. I'll put little markers on the tab so it's a bit easier to see what the scale shapes actually are, but basically when I move up I'm on to the next position. Now on a side note, that's not actually bad exercise in itself, and you can switch on a different string, you could do a different string with every switch, you could skip out a box, you can move back down the fretboard as well as up, and all sorts of things like that. Those exercises are maybe for a different video, so think of that as a bonus tip. If you'd like a video on it though, do let me know, and if you've got any suggestions, fire them down in those comments. What we're doing here is taking a classic lick, this one, and moving it all over the shop. So how do we do this? Well, one simple way is just to find the notes on the next string, which will move you into a new shape or position. Moving each note at a time, you get, well, this one here is on the 12th fret, this one here goes to the 9th, 5th on the E, goes down to the 10th on the B, and then this one we bent before is the 12th. And if we apply the same bending, it's exactly the same lick. You've probably heard it a million times and played it a ton, but how often have you played it in this position? Okay, let's repeat that process. We have 17, 14, 14 again, and then this 17. Again, we're in a new position. I started to run out of fretboard here, so I'm going to go down the octave. I'll just do the exact same shape, but move down. Cool, so let's move this one up. I can only move some of the notes, so let's keep this 5th, and then go the 7th fret, 7th, and then we'll have to bend this. And we've actually ended up in our first box again, but playing the lick an octave lower. For good measure, here's a final one moved into the next position. The idea here is to give you new ways of visualizing scales and shapes so you can join up the fretboard more freely, not be stuck in a box and be able to find your way to safe licks if you stray from your tried and tested ideas, and if you find yourself in a puzzling, perplexing pentatonic pickle of predicament. And you can, of course, use this process for any scale, which is something I would really quite consider doing. Well, okay, but you're just moving me from one box to another one, I'll just get trapped in there too. Fair point. So let's move the last note from the lick out of position, then take this lick through a few different positions to show how this new fretboard mapping knowledge can actually be applied. Those first two bars I'm just moving down to the next position on the last note, just like I said I would. In bar 3 I've opted for a slide just to mix things up. Then bar 4, there's an open string and a pull off after the slide. Why? Just to highlight how linking these boxes frees up your phrasing, and when you know what note you're going for, you don't have to get to it the same way every single time. Slide, bend, hammer, tap, whatever, it's all fair game. Okay, I'm going to do this with one more lick, another classic lick, this time using the major third for more of a kind of blues rock and roll vibe. This is the lick in question. So the exact same process as before, let's move it across the strings and keep the same notes. At this point you might be starting to recognise some of these new shapes a bit more and making some more connections between them, which is absolutely great. And if not, I'm sure it's probably just a matter of time. For a slight change in tactic in this exercise, I'm going to put the next one up the octave, and when we do, it goes like this. If I move that to the next set of strings, we just get the same shape as bar 1, but up an octave. And that's a little bit too easy now, isn't it? So let's move it to another string set. Cool. So finally I'm going to move that down the octave and then see if I can change the fingering a little bit more as well. And just to hit home at what moving the lick can do, this last shape opens up some possibilities. I can slide out of the first dyad and add some vibrato to the last note. I've got a decent riff, or at least the start of one there. A riff that I probably never would have come up with had I not tried this lick in different positions. So there's your final bonus trick. If you're in a creative rut, see where else you can play the notes. You'll likely come up with a new lead idea or just some riffs. Keep moving the different notes around until you stumble across something with potential. Well, that was but one of the many ways in which you can start to visualise the fretboard a bit differently, break out of your boxes and just move around a bit more freely. This has been Quick Tricks, that's the playlist up there. Please do consider to subscribe, check out some other videos I've done. Leave a comment if you've got any questions or suggestions, share, like, and also enable notifications with that little bell on the side if you feel so inclined. Cheers guys.